Welcome back to the Quad Damage Podcast. I'm Robert, and joining me as usual is Midnight Medium and Deadforge.
Howdy.
Today we're joined by someone who knows exactly how to blend chaos, style, and pure arcade energy into one unforgettable experience. Please welcome to the show Alex, the creative force behind the Henchmen.
Hello. Thank you for having me. It's
Of course.
a real honor.
It's
Great
a
to have you
pleasure.
on.
It's a pleasure, yes. And without much further ado,
Let's get booming.
So, obviously, you're a friend of Sam's and DOSman Games, and this is how you come to us today as the new hot, new sexy project off the DOSman conveyor belt. But what inspired you, Alex, to start making games, and how did that journey kind of lead you into creating the Henchmen?
So this is gonna sound weird to say, but I've been dabbling and making games for almost 20 years now. Because I'm turning 28 next summer, and I started playing with FPS Creator and RPG Maker when I was I was 6, 7, 8 years old. So it's always been pretty much my dream to kind of work in the industry to make games. So yeah, I've been making shitty games this whole time, and then one time when I was 18 years old, I thought, you know what would be cool. I never managed to make a full cool game before. I don't have the skill set to do a serious game, but you know what would be cool? If I made a game like GTA, open world, 3D. I don't know how to model, but we'll make it 3D, and with all these cool missions and a cool storyline. And since this is not complex enough, I'll make it a co-op game, because that's cool, right? I like playing Halo with my friends, so it's easy. You make one player, you just make a second one, right? And so yeah, it's been 8 years and it's still not shipped. and and I've broken every single rule that you're supposed to follow, but I've been just too stubborn to stop this whole time.
You can't rush perfection, right?
No, it's just I've been stupid. I'll be honest. It's not perfect. But yeah, the Henchmen for me has been kind of a dream game. And I gotta put this on the record. Sam saved this project because it was dead at one point.
Okay.
It was actually dead on I hadn't touched it for more than a year, and then one day he came knocking at me, and he already tried it before for a deal that didn't go through, and then he wanted it for DOSman, and I said, you know what? Yes, because I wasn't sleeping well at night knowing that I had climbed all the way of Mount Everest, and then I looked at the summit this far away, and then I said, you know what? I'll go back home. I'm tired. This is what it felt like. So thanks to Sam, because this wouldn't happen without him. So
Yeah.
Shout out to Sam.
yeah.
Everyone always speaks highly of Sam. I've met Sam in person. Brazen Skull. We went out to dinner together.
Yeah, Brazen too. Yeah, I'll only say Sam, but yeah, Brazen too.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Thoroughly decent guys, and we're happy to obviously have a good working relationship with them. But we speak all of the time. I've literally forgotten who was introduced me to DOSman. It's got to be one of either Deadforge or Midnight Medium. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, it was probably one of us. Yeah.
Was it? I feel like we may have run into him because he was sending out emails, somewhere he had found a bunch of content creators and sent out codes to people. A couple of times. Was that it? Was it sort of indirect?
Maybe
like that, perhaps.
Quite possibly.
I had actually bought Flash of the Blade prior, and I think I'd messaged him or something about it.
Yeah.
And I'd played that, and also the one that he tries to make disappear. Concrete Visions.
It's real. If we say Concrete Visions 3 times too fast, we get a DDoS attack or something like that.
I'm going to message him to say that. We talked about Concrete Visions and it disappeared. But he feels the same way as also about Flash of the Blade to a degree. This is why he
the original,
made it, yeah, as Flash of the Blade X. Even the trailer, it's in Sam's voice in the trailer. if only these graphics were better or something like that, and then it switches to the new version. Yeah.
Join the Quad Damage memberships and get the additional quaddage for all the hard-hitting conversations the public don't see, on-screen recognition, quizzes, and voting opportunities on who we invite on the show. Extending invitation does not guarantee appearance. They may tell us to f*** ourselves. And more.
Yeah, I noticed you mentioned that GTA, like, I assume the first couple, that kind of that top-down look, were obviously an inspiration, and I'm sure anybody looking at the trailers would go, what about Hotline Miami? But we were actually curious if it was a little deeper than that, being set in a couple different eras. Were there movies or TV shows that really sparked that?
Thank you for asking that question, because, okay, we're kind of guilty of this, because, for marketing reasons, it sounds cool if you say, like, GTA plus Hotline Miami. But the truth is, neither of these games inspired the Henchmen very much. Like, especially GTA wasn't really an inspiration, basically at all, at least in the beginning. Because the two big inspirations were, like, the biggest one was Driver, the PS1 game.
Yeah, I can see it.
I love that game to that. I wanted a game with those physics where you can just slide around, drive those, like, boats that you Americans call cars in the 1970s. I really wanted to have, like, those car chases, right? And Hotline Miami, to me, was an inspiration, but not in the way you guys think, in the way everyone would think. People are going to be pissed at me for this, but I've never really played a top-down game that I really liked before then. And I was making top-down games for a long time. But for me, it was like, as like a kid, I envisioned these awesome 3D games that then in reality I could never pull off, so I just kind of squished them into a top-down shooter, right? And then I play Hotline Miami and I realized, holy shit, top-down games are actually really cool. They're actually really cool. And so that for me, the inspiration was making a game that is that kick-ass. Not necessarily, I wanted to like have those particular mechanics. The GTA inspiration came later. The game kind of evolved a lot as time went through. At one point, I realized, if I'm going to have this side content be accessible in a menu, I might as well just make the game open world, because the game wasn't even open world in the beginning. It was just supposed to be a sequence of missions, like in Driver or I guess the Mafia games. But then, I kind of started, it felt natural. I kind of, how the crabs, this fact about the crabs, they kind of evolved separately like 7 different times in history or something like that. This is kind of what happened. I kind of had a bunch of problems, and the solution was slowly becoming GTA. So that's what happened. I had money and this and that. Although the final game isn't exactly like GTA, there's money, but once you the world is only really there for you to find collectibles and challenges around the world. It's not really set the same way. I don't know how to describe it unless I go
that's a lot like Driver and Mafia, where the world is mostly set dressing kind of thing.
In the beginning, yeah. Now you have money. You can you can buy cars and weapons. But it's not really like GTA in the sense, especially modern GTA, there's a lot of sandbox mechanics. You can play pool and do this and do that. I don't really have any of that, mostly because I don't have the bandwidth to just add all the kind of stuff. I would love to, but
have all this interactivity and so on. Yeah.
So what I ended up doing was just, you guys know Genshin Impact. I know this is kind of out of left field.
I've seen a little bit on it.
Yeah, my girlfriend in 2020 during lockdown said, "Fuck you! You always force me to play PUBG and all these fucking shooters. If you don't play Genshin Impact with me, I'll be mad." And I said, "You know what? Fine, you're right. I'm an asshole." So I played Genshin Impact, and I actually liked it a lot. And Genshin Impact does this thing where every 2 meters you find a chest or a little collectible, a little challenge, and that just continuous dopamine hits. So So
Yeah,
I copied it basically. These little
Okay.
tokens you can find. There's 4 kinds of them. They're like there's basically 80 of them in the world. Each one gives you like a bit more of extra health, or makes your car more resistant, or makes your power ups better. And once you collect all of them, you get an extra boost. So you drive around, you find these little things. There's challenges to give you money, like lose the cops, or the survival mission from Driver, which I totally copied because it's the like everyone remembers that there's like 10,000 cops coming at you and you gotta survive for like 30 seconds. So yeah, the word is just you have to get from point A to point B to start the next mission, and hopefully you'll get distracted by all those little things.
Yeah.
Okay. I forget what they call that, but yeah, it's like certain games. I think it's like The Witcher 3, Hogwarts Legacy, and like Breath of the Wild are 3 of the main ones that are known for having kind of a similar design philosophy where every couple of minutes there's like something like you're finding a random event or an encounter or location or a cave or an item, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, putting the Henchmen on the same discussion of those 3 games, kind of terrifying.
It's a compliment, right? Yeah. Yeah, we had the same discussion with Sprawl developers, the very, very brilliant game that I love called Sprawl. And by the trailer, everyone was comparing the game to the anime Ghost in the Shell. And we mentioned this during the actual interview itself, and the developer Carlos was like, "Fuck yes! If you're going to compare us to something that's fantastic."
Yeah.
You know, it's a compliment. I thought, and I mentioned this briefly during that little break that we had. Then I thought about The Godfather Part 2 when I was watching the trailer for The Henchmen, because of one of the city setting, yes, and the crime setting, but also because of the jump in time as well. So I was thinking, like, you know, there's the younger version of the guy and you follow that person's story, and then there's the later version of him at a different stage in his career, where it's like a completely separate story as well. Why did you go for that kind of break in time?
Well, okay, that's such I don't. This sounds bad. I shouldn't be talking shit about my own game before it even comes out. But that's totally only there because basically the game got rebooted at one point. It was supposed to be much more story focused, but then I had this deal with a publisher. I don't want to go too much into details because I don't know if I can. But basically, I had this deal with them. We were gonna have this longer game with a lot of stories and cutscenes. Then the whole thing fell through for reasons that were in my control, were not in my control. And so basically, it was either the game is dead, or I kind of take the whatever I have and kind of find a way to finish it by myself in a timely manner, which translates to like 4 years. And so originally there was going to be the whole first chapter, which was almost like a prologue to the entire story, and it was going to be set in the like early 1990s. So it was snowy, and it was basically, this was going to be a big time jump. The city changes, there's different cars and stuff. Obviously that story didn't happen, but I already finished the city, so I'm not going to scrap the whole city, right? So
right.
That thing is still in the game in the sense that there's like basically almost like an intro section, a tutorial section. Maybe it's like a quarter of the game where the city is snowy, it's different. The whole not the whole layout, but there's a lot of differences. Like some streets are there's like doing work in 1 year and then they're not.
Yeah.
There's like a whole thing, or there's like a whole park that gets demolished and they build like a stadium on top of it. There's like houses that are being built in 1990, then in 1986 they're finished. So I put a lot of effort into that. I feel bad that it's almost like a small little thing. Almost makes no sense to have it.
Right.
But yeah, it's still in the game. I think it's still kind of cute to have. It feels
that's a cool mechanic, though.
It is, yes.
Like, for instance, Red Dead Redemption 2, since I keep throwing out these like gigantic game comparisons, they had a thing where, like, as the game progressed, for like these where they were building the railroad to the forest, or there's this one family building a house throughout the entirety of the game, and then it's finished like right before you finish the game. So I think that's a pretty cool way to like help build a world to show that there's like actually time going by, there's
Yeah.
actually progression. And even if there isn't that much interactivity in the world or anything like that, it kind of adds to the believability of it and makes it
Yeah.
even feel more alive than maybe it really is.
Yeah. For me,
That's a cool detail.
I use that as an excuse. Like, you are new to the city, you're basically being babied into this world. They are like teaching you how to be a criminal, right? And then there's a time jump, and you get more complex missions because now you've been doing that for a while. You kind of work your way up. The person that gives you the missions in the beginning is now your equal, is no longer your boss. So that's kind of how it plays out.
Okay.
Want to support your favorite Boomer Shooter podcast? Well, tough luck, because we're all you've got. Visit the Quad Damage affiliate store for the most bangin', most boomin', most please give us your money stores on the internet. Well, Amazon anyway. Only available in the US because we're too lazy to set it up for any other country.
What was the part of the like development process that you enjoyed the most? Like the doing the art, the mechanics, just the overall chaos of everything, or the story, or whatnot?
I mean, it's difficult because it's been such a wild ride making this game. Like, it's depressing if I say this because I don't have like a huge publisher with like 15,000 million wish lists. But still, it's been such a huge part of my life making this game, like my adult life, because I started this when I was 18 or something, 19, I don't know. And the whole time I had fun, honestly. But if I had to, since that's a cop-out answer, and I realized that most fun bit was there was like the first period, like the first year and a half, which was like getting actually the game to be playable, like technically playable. Like, you can move your character and get in a car and there's missions somehow, right? But the game wasn't fun at all. I remember, like, my girlfriend, she's the most honest person ever. I remember having her playtest the game one night, and she just got so mad at the game. Like, it just humbled me so much.
Yeah.
But then there was this period when I just started iterating so fast, like adding all these new things, and the game got better by the week.
Yeah.
And I had doubts for a long time that I could pull this off and that the game could be good. But then I could see that, I genuinely like the game, not just because it's mine. I genuinely started to enjoy it more and more and more. And that was so gratifying. It was like maybe a period of 6 months that was so incredibly fun. That made me realize, okay, I gotta do this for a living because this is awesome.
Yeah.
I can't even call this a job because this is so fun.
Right.
Do you ever like purposefully take breaks just so that you can kind of not wash yourself of it, but take a little time away so that when you come back to it, you can see it as a game itself, not as the thing that you're staring at every day, and be kind of more objective about it? In a similar way in which your girlfriend was, where she obviously loves you enough to be honest with you, rather than telling you, what you want to hear. She's telling you what you need to hear.
Yeah.
So do you ever do that?
Sort of. I see a lot of developers, and I'm not throwing shit at them, but a lot of them like glorify the amount of like the insane lifestyle they have. Like, I work like 8 hours at this software company, then I come back home. I remember like watching a GDQ. You see GDQ? No, that's the speedrun thing. The game dev conference they do every year. I don't remember the name. I'm so bad at this.
Yeah, I know which one you mean. Yeah.
And yeah, that one. And this guy talked about working a long hours at work and going back home and like barely talking to his wife because at night he made the game. Like, I don't do that. I don't work. I have this rule. I don't touch the game during the weekends. I just don't touch it because I don't want to get burned out on it. I gotten burned out on it many times. And I think for me personally, just not like fucking up my life to do it is good enough.
Yeah.
I've taken longer breaks when I felt like for some reason or another the game wasn't going anywhere. I think the longest was like I had like maybe 2 1-year breaks, one like 6-month breaks, And then I come back and I usually like do the dumbest things. Like one time I came back and I just added like the wheels losing the hubcap or whatever it's called, like the little plastic thing. Like when you drift, you lose that, like in Driver One, and like you don't even see that because it's just a small little thing. So I come back, I do dumb things, and I ease my way into it. And by doing this, I added what I like. Sam always told me this is what made me think I want to publish this game, which is gipping. But that wasn't in the game for the longest time. I came back and I said, you know what? I'll make it so that if you deal enough damage, the guy just explodes. That's so fucking awesome. Like when the skin explodes, all the pads they just blow into little bits. It's awesome.
Well, it's those small details like that people are gonna.
Yeah.
You think that they're dumb details, but when people start playing the game, people are going to be like, "That's really cool. I never would have thought they would do something like that because this game doesn't do that, or this game doesn't."
I don't want to sound like I have a big ego because I swear I don't. I'm just really excited about what I do. Like sometimes I play the game because when I'm testing it, I play it every day. But when I'm testing it, I'm focusing on like breaking something or fixing something.
Yeah,
I don't see the whole pictures. Like every now and then, I just play the game. I'm like, holy shit, this is so cool! Like. I had the snow particles, and then it snows, and then the road gets wet slowly, and then you see the reflection. And I had to do crazy tricks because Game Maker is 2D, and I can't actually do 3D, so I just like flip the model underneath the road. All these stupid tricks I had to make that somehow work. Sometimes I just play it and I say, like the details are what just make me enjoy the game myself so much. I just really like limitations.
Yeah, limitations have made some of the best video games ever made. Yeah. So you do just crazy cool things and you achieve something that ends up being a lot cooler than a lot of things nowadays where they're so simple to do a lot of these things. There's a lot less effort put into them, so they don't come across as nearly as unique.
Yeah, I think for me at least, limitations definitely helped me make the game more fun. And the development itself was way more fun. Because like if I was using Unity, for instance, I could have like an actual 3D engine, which is what I should have done in the first place. But I barely know how to use Game Maker. I couldn't like back then just have started using Unity. You can just like do actual reflections. You can just actually have the road reflect stuff or whatever. But I just do like when it starts raining, I just draw like a gray layer, transparent gray layer on the floor that becomes more opaque as it rains, so it looks like the road gets wet, and then underneath that I just flip the car. It's so stupid, but it works so well.
Was it Silent Hill? Was very famously, had to put the fog in there to hide the limitations. Duke Nukem with the mirror, Duke Nukem 3D, I believe it was, with the mirrors. Was it where they simply built the same room on the other side, so when you look into it, it looks like you're looking into a mirror. The limitations that game engines can provide you can lead to a lot of inventiveness where you're trying to overcome the hurdle that wouldn't have ordinarily been there. You may not have been happy with your game if you'd have built it in Unity. Maybe part of the reason why you like what you've done now is because you've had to think outside the box and come up with solutions to things that wouldn't have existed, and that's why you're prouder of it.
Yeah, and I think, at least for me, like the whole thing has to be fun.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not having fun making a game, then what's the point? Like, I'm not doing this to get rich because I'm just not gonna give. I'm like, there's only one guy, like only one Minecraft gets made for like per 1 trillion indie games, right? So if I'm not having fun, then what is the point? So for me personally, I focus a lot on enjoying the progress, the process itself. Because that also makes my creativity wheel spin in my head, and I think overall it just worked better. Again, this kind of goes back to the whole kind of thing I was saying before about working insane hours. That wouldn't work for me if I just kind of destroyed my life or just even not enjoy it. And that's why I stopped sometimes. I was just not enjoying making it, so I just stopped. Now I'm enjoying it, and every time I have some spare time, I go at it, and I just like before this we recorded this. I was fixing some bugs because I had like 2 hours to kill. I just open it up and fix some bugs, right?
You ever been in the right place but wearing the wrong thing? Ain't ever gonna happen again, brother, because you can now buy the sexiest apparel this side of a John Romero hair products line. Visit the Quad Damage Amazon merch store and get that shiz delivered on Prime. Damn, you're gonna look good.
So is difficulty or challenge a big aspect of this game? You know, given some of its influences and things like that.
Yes. But not like Hotline Miami, where the game is extremely unforgiving. The game has difficulty sliders. The easiest one is made for like people that have never played top-down games, so it's extremely forgiving, right? I want like my dad to be able to play this, or like my sister that only plays The Sims. I want her to be able to play it, right? But the way the game is built in such a way that, and I gotta thank Hugo Martin for this, because I saw one of his interviews and he kind of made me realize what I was doing wrong. Is I want the player to play the game in the coolest way possible. The coolest way is you sliding in, doing combos, getting close. I didn't want players to like hug the wall and then pew, pew, and then hide again. I just wanted people to feel cool playing the game. So what I did is I basically forced the player to do that by basically the enemies deal a lot of damage, but you have a lot of mobility. The mobility is like sliding and rolling. When you slide, you deal crits, which deal like an insane amount of damage. But to get crits back once you use it, you gotta get a melee kill. Okay. So the idea is you get close, you get a melee kill, then you have a crit that lets you basically clean up a room, and then you do that again. And crits, the melee damage also gives you back ammo and health. So if you keep doing that, you basically become unkillable. But if you just sit back, you won't have the sustain to actually just like stay back, shoot, and that's not an efficient way to play. Same thing with the cars. I just wanted to make all the cars slide a lot, because that's cool. Like I want you to take the corner and drift, even if you like driving a school bus. Which is right. So I just tried to make the coolest way to play, the most efficient one. I think that kind of make the game hard. In a way, it's kind of challenging because you have to wrap around your head around how you're supposed to play. Because I punish you if you don't play like that. I'm punished because you die really fast, right? On medium, normal, or difficulty, and hard difficulty, if you don't play like this, it's impossible, right? So it's challenging that way, but it's not like a rage game where you die 1 trillion times every time. Like I enjoy those kind of games. I've beaten Halo 2 on Legendary. If you guys play that, you know how bullshit it is. Yeah. I finished a Hotline Miami 2 in the hard mode.
Damn near impossible.
But I enjoy those kind of games, but that was not what I was looking to do, especially because I think for like an open world type game, I don't think it's that fun to like repeat the same thing 1 trillion times. And then especially because how do you balance that with like driving? How do you make driving that difficult? You like, and then you also gotta keep in mind that not every player has this. That is the because you have driving and shooting, fighting, right? They have to be like, you don't know if the player is as good as they are of a driver as they are of a fighter, right? So it's also kind of difficult to balance, because maybe you have a super difficult fight, and maybe a player clears that easily, and then they have a difficult chase and they get stuck there, right? So yeah, that's been a lot of testing, a lot of tweaking of numbers.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
So
you got the right mindset for it. I appreciate that you're looking at kind of like at it from every angle without giving in too much to like people who just want the game to play itself for them. Because I think that's the thing people miss a lot from the fun zone thing with Hugo Martin. Because I looked into that a lot for a Doom Eternal video I did a while ago. was the idea that people think that like the game needs to accommodate me so much that I could do just about anything I would want to the point where it homogenizes gameplay where you
Yeah.
almost can't have experience.
But basically, for me, a big inspiration was Doom 2016, like for the gameplay loop, the fighting. But when I played it myself, I felt cool. I did all the combos. I, was playing it the way I wanted to. And then I saw other players play it, and they were doing the boring thing, where they hacked walls and stuff. They play slowly. And then Doom Eternal came out, and I remember watching this Hugo Martin interview where he said like they were playing it in the office and the game wasn't fun. Like he could tell because when they were making 2016, people kept playing it after hours, and then Eternal they just went back home. Nobody was playing it. So they did a controversial thing where like in Doom Eternal you kind of have to play it in a very specific way. You have to like do combos, use the grenades, use the chainsaw, blah blah blah. If you play the game, you know what I'm talking about. And when I watched that, I was like, holy shit, you're a genius. Like a light bulb just appeared in me, and then that's when I added like the sliding and I rebalanced the whole thing so that playing the way I was playing it and then the way I wanted it to play became the necessary way to play it. And then it felt so good when I watched my girlfriend start to play like that, and she could do it, and she was doing the thing, right? She was doing the thing. That felt so amazing. I'm gonna hug Hugo Martin if I see him. I'm gonna get arrested. I go, you don't know me, but you saved my game.
Right, just go to the next QuakeCon and then you'll be the guy we watch on YouTube. Yeah, it'd be in the news afterwards. Random guy runs onto the stage, hugs Hugo Martin. Hugo's there awkwardly like,
yeah, exactly.
What's going on?
Yeah, oh my god, yeah, exactly. That's the next time we speak.
So yeah, burning questions round.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, we got 3 randomly generated questions that are usually of a lighter variety than just your average interview questions. We're kind of cut loose, freeform our answers, be as long or as short as you want.
Yeah.
Try and keep them a little short. We got other stuff to get to.
Yeah.
If you feel like going off, go off. All right, first question is, if you could delete one everyday object from existence just to see what chaos would unfold, what would you pick?
I'm gonna sound like a boomer, but it's phones.
But really?
I'll delete phones, smartphones. The world, the internet, and the world was a better place when the internet was a place. When you like sat down on your little computer desk in the computer room and you browsed the internet, and then you logged off and you go touch grass, right? Now we're always connected, we're always have to be available, we're always on the fucking internet with those scrolling forever, fry my brain. Like I'm so addicted, man. I'm fighting it so hard, but I feel like it feels like heroin, man. Like I swear.
It does,
So
yeah.
addictive.
What they're trying to pass a law, I forgot what country it is, where you have to be over 16 to be able to use social media or something. Because the internet is good, but for many people, the internet is social media. So as a man that grew up in the 80s and 90s, I understand.
Is there anything else left that's not social media? Because it feels like everything died and turned into 3 websites.
That's not far from the truth,
really,
you know. It is the same, like
just about every bit of it is social media of some kind. I mean, even YouTube itself is somewhat of social media now.
Yeah, remember when Deus Ex and Cyberpunk were weird and distant because they're like, man, they'll never have those monopolies and all this shit. Now everything's trying to be thought of.
I wish the real world was like a quarter of the coolness that Cyberpunk is. Instead, we just like get 5 people owning the entire world and we get no cool tech. Like I have a flashy arm. I want like a cool arm that gets the blade out, and I want to stop.
I know, but yet the reality is a corporation's gonna own that arm. You're gonna have to pay a subscription for it. You can't use the arm if you stop paying, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, that's the thing, is that you're doing that right now because your phone is an extension of yourself.
Yeah,
you are technically. We're all technically cyborgs walking around with us attached.
And now,
that could one day become part of us.
Like
and I mean, this is true because
no.
You have something right here that you can answer every question that you have, without actually having to do anything.
Yeah. And now
to get that information, you don't have to go read a book. You know what I mean? You don't have to go do it.
And now people wear those cool Meta glasses so they can record anything at any time. So like you can't even exist without having to fear like being recorded. You have to always act as if you're being watched by the entire world. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So healthy for society, man.
We're turning more into Wally as the day goes by. Just going to be fat people.
Yeah,
in
we
a
gotta
chair
stop,
with,
guys.
like
We gotta
visors
stop
on.
this. I'll continue,
Especially
like,
in America.
getting deeper into this rabbit hole. So we gotta cut this now, or this is gonna like derail the entire show.
It's all good.
Yeah, I think we're getting a little despondent. All right, guys. If the internet wasn't ruining everybody's life, instead gravity was working sideways for 1 hour a day, what would be the first thing you'd try?
Walking on the wall on the right. I don't know. I'd be like too scared to do anything. Like if you're outside, you're like I live in a hilly place. I'll probably die if I'm outside when that happens. So the first thing is probably just tying myself to the chair and bolting the chair on the floor. I think that's my answer.
What a strange world we'd
Prepare
live
for the
in if
worst.
that was normal. That gravity was that how things would be constructed. You know, to
Yeah,
that
I
everything
actually
occurs.
had like
Everything would be bolted to one side.
You'd
I
have
actually-
beds on the wall.
I actually
for
wanted
1
to
hour a
explore
day,
that as a game idea, like when I was 15. But I was 15, so I had no idea how to actually do it. But that's I thought a lot about that. Like, if gravity was one day inverted permanently,
Yeah.
like how would society look? Because it would be like an apocalypse, and then there will be like a post-apocalyptic world where everything is built, kind of like you would have bridges connecting buildings because you would fall down into the sky and into space.
That's a really
That
cool
would be good.
idea, though. Why
Yeah,
don't
somebody
you do
should
that for your
turn this
next
into a
game?
novel or a
It would
movie.
be the most like trippy game ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you remember Gravity Rush? Like that game? Have you heard of that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's something
Only
similar
by
to that,
name.
or Inception. You know?
Inception, yeah.
There's some stuff like that in Eclipsium that they do, like these weird things with your perception. Like there's a part where you have to like you're trying to solve a puzzle, but you're like falling through the thing that you're looking at while going. It's just wild.
Yeah, that-
You're looking at a thing, but you're falling through the thing, and you got to try to get on it at the same time. It's just, and if you fall like
feels
off of
like-
an object, you just start looping.
that makes me dizzy just thinking about it. I
was busy playing it.
Yeah, I got a really weak stomach. I gotta turn wheel bobbing off in Minecraft, otherwise I throw up after 10 minutes. So I can't play that game.
Alrighty, third and final burning question. If the Henchmen had a theme restaurant, what would be the signature dish that absolutely ruins someone's day?
Oh, this is very specific. Probably like it would be like an Italian restaurant, but with like all Italian dishes, and then they would have like completely fucked up carbonara. So every Italian person that goes there would immediately just get pissed. That would be the dish.
Like
Send it back.
like my wife's carbonara. Ooh, I didn't hit
Oh
that.
wow!
Zing.
You just see a shoe just go.
There's a whole thing
There
here in
goes
Italy
Robert
with
out of the whole
carbonara.
podcast for the rest
Like
of the
if
night.
you don't use the exact right even if you use the wrong type of meat,
Yeah.
that's like a sin for a lot of people.
Really?
So
Ah.
yeah,
I guess when
It's
it
a
comes
whole
to
thing.
national, when it comes
Italians
to
and
national
the-
dishes,
actually-
there's a greater pride in making sure that it's the best version that it can be. So you're a little more tribal about it. But just for the record, in case she watches this episode, your carbonara is awesome, sweetheart. I love it. Okay, please don't leave.
It's all right. I threw a virtual shoe at him. It's okay.
Thanks for another episode of the Simpcast.
So will the Henchmen have Steam achievements?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you feel in regards to achievements? Should they be something that everyone can easily accomplish, or should all of the achievements be something that is like an achievement, something, a feat to overcome to unlock? Or should it be a mixture of the two?
I'll be honest, I don't really give a shit about achievements in games. And I know that so a lot of
That's the real answer.
no, the thing is I know a lot of people care, and there's like I don't give a shit. So I'm looking outside. There's like this huge war between people that are like, all players should get all achievements, and then people are like, I need like the hardest achievements ever, like meet Gary in Gary's mod. That's like impossible to do because he doesn't play the game anymore. And I'm just there like eating popcorns. But then I realized, oh shit, I'm gonna have to take a side soon. So it's not that fun to look at them anymore. But the real answer is I don't have a full achievement list yet. I'm probably gonna play it safe and just not have anything extreme, but I'm probably also gonna have something extreme because
Just have it make just random shit.
look,
Just like,
I could be.
you shot the
Beat the
stop
game
sign
in
or
5
something,
minutes.
and it just.
I'm gonna
It's
be a real piece of shit if I do this, but I don't know if this is gonna be in the game because I don't know if I'll have time. But I would like to have like an hardcore mode that's like super difficult, and I would like to have a super hardcore mode where if you die, you lose like the save game is deleted, and I could complete that achievement, which would be really funny. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe
someone would do it somewhere. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, I'll try to beat it. I'm not a pussy.
Well, I thought it would be a fun question because myself and Medium were in a conversation not long ago around this exact topic. See, my ultimate opinion comes down to actually pretty much everybody here comes from a time where like Xbox achievements and PlayStation trophies and Steam achievements didn't exist. So we just made up our own achievements, or people on random sites made up their own achievements, and we just played games to play games, and we 100%ed what was in the game. You know what I mean? Like if you're playing like a Super Mario, you got all the stars, and that was 100%ing the game. You didn't have any like special achievements that you had to get on top of it. And that's why even to this day, like I'll go and 100% a game. I 100% a game based on like what's in the game, and I don't care about the achievements because sometimes there's just dumb shit in there, and I'm like,
yeah. This is a sin. I 100% all achievement the definitive edition of GTA. That's Trilogy, the really shitty, buggy one, and they have this like stupid achievement in Vice City where you have to get like the crime score, which is like you do crimes and you get a score, but like you have to get the max one, but it's like an insane number. So I just like did that thing. I got a boat and I shot like an invincible boat for like 2 hours AFK, and I just found it like that. I mean, if you're gonna have
holy crap,
like those kind of achievements, I can get why people don't like it. And I realize like some people's brain chemistry make it so that if I can't complete the achievement, then I'll be sad or I'll be mad, like I'll be missing out. So I
see. At once upon a time, I think that, I mean, it might still be the same to this day, but you like had to have a certain amount of achievements. That, especially on Xbox, I know it was a thing where they had to have X amount of achievements that equaled like 1,000 gamer score minimum or something like that. And so a lot of developers I saw in like some documentaries and dev diaries and things, a lot of them were just like, I don't even know, like we don't even know what to do. So like they would just throw out some like stupidly difficult things or some stupid easy things and just have like whatever to meet this deadline of achievements. I feel like a lot of games do that as well, which is how you come up with these like crazy achievements with like just stupid things that like nobody's gonna do.
I promise I will not have shitty achievements. Okay, that's my promise to you guys.
Okay, that's on camera.
1,000 lampposts or something like that. It's probably gonna be just like completionist stuff, like like maybe do all these challenges, or maybe do all these time challenges like in a certain way. Maybe like if it's time based, do it under this time. But yeah, probably like I won't do like again, like destroy 10,000 lampposts while only like, that's stupid. That's just a waste of time, right? That's just a total waste of time.
If they're working towards something. So if you're like Dead Forge's example where you have to do certain amounts of achievements and each achievement has a score attached to it, and you've got to get 100 score to unlock extra hardcore mode, that still brings a kind of sense of achievement to doing the achievements because you're working towards something rather than just doing it for the sake of doing it. Because then you'll be sat there thinking, what achievement can I think of just for the sake of putting an achievement in the game?
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's fun. The achievements are fun personally when achieving them is fun. Ha! Who knew, right?
Yeah. I feel like they should align with stuff that you do in the game.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like, so an
'Cause-
achievement should align with something that you accomplish in the game, and the game itself should also have some kind of reward for doing everything.
yeah,
There's been several games where like I 100% them and I get nothing at the end. I just get the satisfaction of 100%ing it, and I'm like, well, that sucks.
yeah. Like again, to bring up that stupid trilogy again, I like 100%ing that because it was basically to complete that you basically only had to 100% the game itself, plus two little more like a little few things here and there. But it was mostly like, complete this and complete that. Those things that maybe you would normally ignore. So if you just 100% the game, you're like 90% of the achievements, right? You got, so that's fun personally.
Yeah. What about secrets? How do you feel about that?
I can tell you, there's gonna be a little Dustman guy to find. So that's
maintaining that trend, are we?
Yeah, absolutely. The game is also gonna have a mixtape system where basically you can switch the soundtrack at any time, and you'll be able to find the other Dustman soundtracks plus some other original soundtracks around the world. So you will have to basically those are gonna be unlockables that are not tied to the save game, but they're like tied to your Steam profile, right?
Yeah, like Brazos' greatest hits.
And I would like, yes. Okay, I'm gonna be mean to Sam, but only because he memed about this himself. It's Brazen's greatest hits because I don't know if you guys heard Sam's music, but that's why he doesn't do music. There's a reason why Brazen does it and not Sam. I'm sorry, Sam. I'm joking. But yeah, I would like, and this is a bit naughty, I shouldn't tell you this. I would like to have like something secret. You know how like GTA has like the Chiliad mystery, where like people spend 10 years finding. Yeah, I would like to have some kind of like Easter egg thing that has nothing to do with the game. That maybe even goes outside the game, kind of like an RNG. I would like to do something like that. But I don't know if I have the talent to do that because I'm a really busy person.
I thought you were going to say you wanted to have something like a hot coffee moment in GTA or something like that.
Doing that, there's a script in the game, and doing that was already kind of awkward. Like my girlfriend walked in me animating some really low poly strippers, and it's funny because all the female characters have her face as a texture. A little fun fact. And like all the men have the same face and all the women have the same face. So she walked in, me like doing some stupid animation on like this horrible model that had her face on it. That was a fun conversation. But no hot coffee. There's gonna be no explicit sex scenes either. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm ending this interview right now, man. You bummed me out. I was expecting hardcore pixel porn. God damn.
No, I'm sorry.
You're just gonna get. Look, I'll voice somebody that drives up, right, and then it's gonna be like it's an interaction like that, right, and then I just go, "Hey, I don't do that."
I mean, I have a little list of all the things that I thought were cool, but I couldn't do the Henchmen one, and if I do the Henchmen 2, that's my starting point. At least I can add hardcore pixel porn sex scene if you want. Like if that's something you really want, I can add that to the list, and we'll see.
Just for you, Robert. Just for you.
Absolutely, yeah. Medium, you can record a line being like, go to one of the strippers, be like, "Hey, you dropped this $100 bill," or something like that. So she's got to bend over. Yeah, good times, man. Yeah. I think I've mentioned this before to someone actually as well. In terms of like hypothetically, say the game was an absolute juggernaut of a success. You woke up tomorrow, suddenly, your financial future was secure and you had ideas all on the cutting room floor. How would you expand the Henchmen?
Okay, so that's a fun question. As I mentioned, I have an hypothetical Henchmen 2 in my head, which would be basically an iteration of what I have now. In my head, it's like the Henchmen on steroids, basically, because I have, again, so many things that I want, so many gameplay mechanics that I at one point I just gotta stop, and just, nah, that's enough. So that's a feasible the Henchman 2 idea I have that I could do like in a year or two. But if I became like super rich and I had like a lot of time to do it, I would like to do a 3D The Henchman. And it would be probably a first-person shooter, like a boomer shooter type game.
Okay, you're saying the
Uh,
right things.
yeah, and obviously with all the car mechanics. Because my inspiration for the Henchman, like the combat, was a lot of first-person shooters, Halo, Doom. So I wouldn't do it as a third-person game. Also because I would feel I don't want people to look at it and think, oh, this is just like old GTA again. No, it's not. I worked so hard.
It
Like
seems rogue.
people, yeah, people. I'm gonna sound like an asshole to say this, but it irritates me so much. Like those comments on the Henchman trailer, just like, oh, so GTA 2 again? No, it's not GTA 2 again. You're hurting my feelings when you say that. So yeah, but I know that kind of project, if I did it solo, it would probably take me like 5 years.
Yeah.
So I would have to have like enough money to live off for like 5 years. So it's not really feasible. It's a fantasy. Like to think about that is like to think about becoming rich for me, basically.
Yeah.
I have other game ideas that I would like to do in the future. But it really depends on how the Henchman does. Because if it does, it doesn't have to do well. I live in Italy. I own my house, so I don't pay like $5,000 a month for rent for like a studio apartment in New York City.
Right.
So it doesn't have to sell like 1 trillion copies. If it does okay, if I have the possibility, I'll definitely keep making games because it's my passion. I just love it, even if it's stupid to do
Of
so.
course.
But yeah, I don't want to think about future too much because then I'll start fantasizing and then it doesn't happen and I'm sad and depressed.
But what was one of the biggest challenges when you were building the game, and how did you get through that challenge?
Again, this is gonna sound like a cop out. I'm sorry, but the biggest challenge was the whole thing. Because when I started, I had none of the skills I needed. I could barely program, and you guys should see some of like the first code I did, which is like, funnily enough, the what everything else sits on top of is so fucking garbage. I'm so ashamed. I keep writing like comments about how bad the code is. So like if somebody else sees it in the future, then I know it's bad, right? That's what I feel like. I didn't know how to do like modeling, so I had to learn that. And back then, I was like there weren't that many PS1 style games. Like that's more of a reason because I started in 2018, so there wasn't even that much documentation online on how to like do PS1 style textures or stuff like that. I just what I did was just like looking at PS1 games and talking to people that worked on PS1 games, funny enough. And then after I did this, I realized, oh, I'm a bad designer too, because I don't know how to design this game. So I had to learn how to design games. I had to learn everything. Then I realized, oh, actually, I'm in college. I'm poor. I can't afford to have people make songs for me like I was somehow expecting to do. So I had to learn how to do that. And I had to learn everything, basically. I had to learn everything. But the cool thing is that I now I learn things and I feel good about myself. So, but since this is a cop-out answer, the single most difficult thing was optimization. That was really scary. The game still, again, shitting on my own game. The game still doesn't run that good. I figured if a computer can run Minecraft, which is the game that sold the most copies ever, and it's also a piece of shit technically. If a computer can run Minecraft, it should be able to run the Henchmen, and if it does, that's good enough. That's the bar I put. And it took so long to make that. Now computers have gone like so much better, anyways. But yeah, there was a lot of problems. I just had to like keep knocking my head at.
Yeah.
Like I would think things were okay, and then some weird memory leak appeared. Like when you played 14 for 40 minutes, it would start lagging. And then there was the multiplayer, which was also a pain in the ass, because that meant that the players can move far away, so you need to like simulate two bits of the city at the same time. Yeah, that was the most difficult part.
What is your favorite kind of bread?
Oh God! Oh, what the fuck? He's really spying on me, dude. What the fuck? Where the
He's
fuck
been
is that?
spying on me.
I always joke that I have a bread fetish because bread is the most delicious thing. Like, it's the most delicious food ever, in my opinion. I eat bread with nothing on it because everything you can put on bread makes the bread worse. That's how much I love bread, except Philadelphia cheese. And I should get my Italian citizenship removed because my favorite cheese is like American. And fun fact: Philadelphia cheese is from New York. It's not from Philadelphia. That's fun. But my favorite cheese fact.
What? Not even New Jersey? What? My God.
Sorry?
Is that not even New Jersey?
No, it's from New York State. And they called it Philadelphia because I don't know this, but apparently like Philadelphia is known for like good cheese and stuff. So they thought, oh, if we call it Philadelphia, people will think it's better.
Marketing. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not American. You guys tell me if this is right. But my favorite type of bread is the bread from a small town that I should not name because it's 15 minutes away from me and I don't want to dox myself more than I already am. But they make this incredibly crunchy, like the crust is so crunchy and the inside is so soft. It's so amazing. And every time I go to the store that sells it, basically it's almost sold out because apparently I'm not the only one with a bread fetish around here. So that's my favorite bread.
It's actually something that I like around where I live. There's not really many like like a mom and pop kind of like bakery. There's not a lot of those around that just like make like breads and things like that.
If you want,
unless it's my grandmother making it,
it's really easy. If you want,
small shops.
I can cook, I can bake, but I make amazing bread because making bread is so easy. You throw like 3 things together, you mush your hands over it, you wait, you do that again, you wait, you do that again, you put that in the oven, and then like amazing bread comes out. So if you want, I can help you.
I've never really never even dabbled in trying to make bread, honestly.
We have a bread maker in the kitchen here. It's
I've done a bit of baking and I do a lot of cooking, but I've just never really messed with bread that much.
That's all my girlfriend's domain. I only do the dishes. Yeah, she's
I love cooking. I love cooking.
I didn't mean that as a sexist joke. She's just really good at cooking.
It's the opposite where I am. I do most of the housework because she's not very good at it, and she does most of the cooking because I'm not.
No, I do all of the housework.
Shot number 2 during this podcast. Shot number 2.
It's true.
We will not see Robert on the next episode. He will not be alive.
It's not meant to be little. I'm just saying how
Two.
It's
you go one more and it's over.
Yeah, you're gonna be divorced by the end of this.
She's gonna appear out of nowhere, like right behind you, and just just like
live on camera,
full on Hitman style. Just
so, our future guest then.
I have to accept that gracious carpet rolled out for me. Okay, are you familiar at all with Conscript, Alex?
No, I'm sorry.
It's fine if you weren't. It's a I wouldn't. This sounds like I'm trying to make a connection that isn't there, but it is one of the more top-down looking survival horror games that came out. Just to give you an idea of what genre it's in. He is another small developer who's been working on this game for quite a long time, like at least 6 to 8 years, I think. He'll be our next guest. He's like a solo developer, basically did more or less everything himself, or at least headed up everything. So if you had any, developer questions for him or anything like that, if you're not familiar with the game itself, fire away as many as you play.
I had a question, but it wasn't developer to developer. I just want to create some drama. But my question was, what's a game that is considered good by people, that is really well regarded, but you really dislike? That's my question.
I like that because if he's entrenched in the survival horror discourse, the amount of like tribalism and
Yeah, that's perfect then.
I spent my entire weekend arguing with people over the definition of these things. You can imagine how many people there are that just like, fucking sucks. Survival
Did you
horror?
ever truly figure out the definition of it at the end of that, though?
You know, I know what the definition is well enough for it to matter, but people be
Hey,
trifling.
that works.
Oh, right.
I feel like at the end of the day, survival horror is kind of like immersive sim. It just becomes one of those things where it's like it's more of a philosophy than it is a actual type of game in a sense. I mean, unless you go for like the classic original kind of, people who started it, basis of like what it is. I mean, and if you go like based off that solely, then I guess you kind of have a framework of what it is. But it's more like I feel like it's more of a design philosophy thing than it is like necessarily a genre.
Kind of like
a lot of games have those elements without truly being that, I guess.
it's kind of like the God. Why is my brain blanking out? That genre where you die, you have to reset. What's it called? Roguelike. Roguelike. It's like roguelike. Like roguelike means nothing anymore except you die and you lose the progress.
Yeah.
And Rogue was a very specific type of game.
Yeah. Which is funny because that's what you got, the roguelike and roguelite. And roguelike is almost mimicking exactly Rogue's mechanics, and roguelite is just taking elements of that, which usually has progression that carries over, whereas roguelikes have no carry.
I always interpret it as roguelike, you lose a lot of progress. Roguelike, you lose a little bit of progress. That's always.
The funny part is, you could almost say that Souls games are roguelites.
Yeah, Souls like that's.
They have the basis of the mechanics.
That's a meaningless genre, in my opinion, because
that's why genres suck.
What's a Soulsborne?
Yes, Souls. Okay, so Souls like is a game where you roll a lot, you parry a lot, and enemies attack you slowly, and the other one is the same, but there's guns involved. That's how I see it.
There you go.
Right. Okay.
And it's gothic. It has to be gothic, obviously.
So many different types.
Yeah, it's kind of funny though.
Yeah, but
I feel like, and here's the funny thing is that Souls likes and roguelites or whatever have become the most just overused type of game to this date, and I almost puke out of disgust at every roguelite that I see at this point, because I've played so many and then I just have almost no interest in it at all.
Yeah.
I think
I see roguelite and I'm like, another one.
I have a theory why that is.
Same with Souls-likes.
I have a theory why that is. I think it's because they are easy to develop, not in the sense that they are easy, but if you make like a roguelike, like think about your average roguelike, you go in a dungeon, there's random things, and you can like make very little content, and the game becomes,
because there's a lot of procedural generation.
Yeah, the game becomes playable really fast, and then you can build on top of it. Now imagine if you wanted to build something like Half-Life. You need to have a lot of things before you can like start building content. So I think a lot of it is that reason. That's just a random theory I pulled out of my ass. So
I think they're cheaper and easier to make, and I think they have a faster turnaround.
Accepted is the reason.
Yeah. Well, the definition seems to be quite locked down in terms of if you tell someone what it is, they can just, like Alex, what you said, they can just describe it. Like boom shooter is perhaps something a little more malleable, let's say.
Yeah. This is like what my girlfriend says about zodiac signs. My girlfriend says zodiac signs are cool, not because they actually are a thing, but because if you say, "Oh, I'm a Gemini," you with that word you describe a lot about your character. If you actually are like what the Gemini is supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
I think that's basically the same thing. You say roguelike, you say a lot of things with just one word or two words, whatever.
Yeah, when I hear roguelite now, I'm like, yes, I will not buy that game. Got it. Okay.
Well,
at this point,
yeah.
Oh my God. So I see Souls-Light, and I'm like, again. I hate it at this point. I'm just, there's too many.
Yeah.
It's too many.
When I see like a Souls-like that looks like Dark Souls, because what is the point? Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to shit on other people's work, but if you're gonna make something that is already intrinsically similar to another thing, make it different in other ways. Like, don't just make it the same.
Agreed.
And now people are gonna shit on me
If
because I
you're
make
gonna-
a game that looks like GTA 2.
Yeah.
You can shit on me all you want.
If you're
Yeah,
going
but
to
if you
make a
take
game
inspiration from something, you want to have like an interesting hook. You want to have something that, well, it shares mechanics and values and even, maybe an art style or a overall look and appeal as something else, but you have a twist or have something going on. Like there's definitely roguelites out there where I'm like, yeah, these are really really cool, and I have them on my Switch and I play them. And then there's Souls-like games that I think really do something unique and push things in a direction that others don't, and those stand out. But there's so many on top of that just kind of do the same thing, and a lot of the unique ones get lost.
I think this is why it's important to not only have other games as your inspiration, because then you're just pulling things that already exist in this medium and then putting them together. And maybe if it hasn't been done before, then good. But like, if I just say, oh, I like Doom and I like Quake and I like maybe this other shooter that everybody knows, and I just pull them all together, anyone that knows something about it say, oh, I know where you got the double barrel shotgun idea from. I know where you got that inspiration for the other enemy, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
While if you get your inspiration from other media, I think the thing you make at the end is just gonna feel more unique. Because like,
for sure,
yeah, I think this is a lot. I see a lot of this in like the boomer shooter. In the boomer shooter games, I see a lot of them follow the same tropes over and over again, like the weapon selection. And I mean, there's only so many weapons you can have, obviously. But like, you can tell when they are inspired by a particular game because they have the same quirks or the same, like, they scratch the exact same itch as another game. So
the movement or the
from a marketing perspective, if you're going to release a game where everyone's like, yeah, that reminds me a bit of Grand Theft Auto, I think this year is the kind of right year to ride those coattails. Yeah, maybe it will actually help you get a few extra sales.
That's why it was so important for me, for the Henchmen, to have it play completely different than like Driver itself or GTA, because otherwise I'm just making like a nostalgia thing, right? Just like, oh, do you remember how good it felt when you were 5 and you didn't know about politics, and you were a child, carefree, and you played that game that your dad brought and it was also good, and now everything is bad, right? But if you buy this game, you're gonna feel the same emotions, right? Because I mean, sure, but again, I sound like a hypocrite because I'm making a PS1 game, right? I know I sound like a hypocrite, but I still try to only keep the PS1 stuff as a surface level inspiration. Like, it looks like a PS1 game, but it doesn't play like one at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, right.
So that's what I try to do personally. And if people want to criticize me, you're free to do. I know I sound like a big hassle hypocrite. Okay, you're free to say whatever you want, because it's gonna drive more.
What was it you were trying to say?
So you're gonna even better if you comment how much of a dick I am.
Like and comment below.
Sorry, Medium.
Comment dick. No.
That's all the rage now. Just controversial things on purpose, so people insult you and you drive up engagement.
Yeah.
So
we're not part of that now. We'd rather have honest conversations with decent.
Well, that's why I'm doing the dirty work for you. You can thank me later.
It was his idea. We promise.
Yeah. Sorry, Medium. What were you saying?
I think it's probably what prompts some of our burnout when we see, the X thousandth roguelite or Soulsborne. It just seems like people are so quick to just sort of orientate their game into like that slot and just sort of lay it down in the little prescribed areas. It's fine to have iteration, because I think that's an underrated part. Not everything has to be groundbreaking. You can just make a really good, finely tuned version of that thing we already like. That's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
The burnout, it's, because like they always say, like, it's nothing wrong with being a 7 out of 10 good game that maybe just wears out because it's not like special, but it's still,
it doesn't stand
you
out.
come back to it more often than you would
Yeah.
necessarily the masterpiece, because the masterpiece requires a lot more out of you.
Yeah, I think
there's got to be.
I think about this often. It really depends on how original the thing it is you are making. Like, let's think about like the first boomer shooters that revived this genre, like Dusk, for instance. Like when they came out, I'm not saying they're bad, but when they came out, they had like free reign, so they could pretty much do whatever they want. They could do it well. They had to do it well, obviously. But now, like 8 years later, there's like a trillion boomer shooters. You can't just make, like, in my opinion, a game that's like Doom but better, because now there's like 10,000 games that are Doom but better. So either you are like the best one by a huge shot, or you're just not gonna be noticed. Which is sad for me, because I really want to make an FPS, and I'm probably never gonna do it because there's so many of them, and I don't think I'm talented enough to just like do the best shooter ever. So I'm just not gonna do it.
You know, the amount of people that came onto the show and that they were making their first game, and they were like, I never thought that I had the talent to be able to do this. There's so many better games, and yet they've ended up making up one of the best boomer shooters that came out there. You never know until you try it. No matter what you make, there's going to be an audience there for it. It may be big, it may be small. But don't look at yourself in the mirror and say, I can't do this. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I can do this.
I'm being kind of jokey. I understand what you mean. And like, obviously, like, again, the Henchmen, I knew I didn't have the skills, and I just kept at it. And I think the game's going to come out pretty okay, I hope.
I'm sure it will be
fun. But I think that if you aim for a fertile ground instead of like the most like oversaturated genre, you are just like, you can make maybe something a bit more experimental. It's like, you know, when AAA games now, they all do the same thing because they're afraid of kind of, you know, messing the game. If you do something that nobody else has done, you can kind of get away with something that's a bit maybe unpolished or rough and some edges. But if you are competing with so many incredibly good and incredibly polished shooters, and, you know, let's not forget, making games is already extremely difficult in itself. You're just kind of doing a hard thing in an even harder setting, right? That's how I see it. It's not that I think I'm stupid and ugly and dumb and I can't pull it off. Just that I'd rather not. It's already so difficult. I don't want to make it more difficult.
Yeah, there was something in this content creation I was looking at, because I was trying to kind of zoom out and say, you know, hey, how can I grow my own channel in certain ways? And one thing I kept running into is the idea of the unfair advantage. You know, don't go where you're picking up scraps. Go where you've got
exactly
a built-in, like, what is my value? What are my strengths, skill sets? And then kind of lean into that, and then do the, you know what they say in marketing, where you find the blue ocean strategy. You go out into the deep blue unexplored sea, and you find like the one thing nobody's cared for, and you make it seem like it's the next big discovery. You know, it's the next journey to America or whatever it is. So that's how you kind of make your mark instead of.
So we look forward to
saturated places where everybody else has already got their stakes.
Yeah. So we look forward to your follow-up game, which will no doubt be an FPS Genshin Impact influence stripper-based first-person shooter. Thanks everyone for joining us here on the Quad Damage podcast with our wonderful guest Alex. The Henchmen is on Steam, so please head over there. There will be a link in the description for that. But Alex, if anyone wants to find you, where else can they find you out on the internet?
I am on the hellhole that is Twitter or X, but I have a little Discord page for the Henchmen that I hope will turn into my own thing for other projects too. So There's that. And yeah, I'm not a very social person. I think I should fix that, at least as far as indie game dev is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, get yourself out there. You're very talkative. You're very nice to talk to, and you're insightful. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Now get it out on the internet so everyone else can see it. Yeah. Medium, what about yourself? Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, you can find me at YouTube at Midnight Medium. I'm on Twitter at, I think, a Midnight Medium. Where else? I think I'm on TikTok now, doing little weird clips and stuff, so you can see a little different side of me over there. I might start streaming some Magic the Gathering, like the full-on nerd I am soon, so you can be looking for that too.
Nice. Deadforge, what about yourself?
Yeah, you can find me at Lord of the RPG on X, Deadforge on YouTube, Deadforge on Patreon. And if you want, you can also go check out the Gaming Bounty Board podcast, my own solo one that I did prior to this, on Spotify. And you can find it on YouTube as well. I think you can look through the podcast section and find it, but it's also in my playlists on my channel, Deadforge, as well. And soon, I don't know if it'll be before or after this episode, but the Gaming Bounty Board podcast is returning after a 2-year hiatus finally. So look forward to
that. Cool. As for myself, you can find me at RobertYapp80 on X, and you can also find the Quad Damage podcast, obviously here on YouTube that you're watching now, but we're also on YouTube Music, so come and find us there, as well as x.com and Blue Sky under Quad Dam Podcast. Feel free to join our memberships where you get cut content from the episode that doesn't make it into the final episode. I'm sure there'll be a few instances of that from this episode. And join our affiliates page, our merchandise, and I guess until next time, folks.
Keep on booming.
On booming.